Don't judge me today, y'all. What I'm gonna say is please don't judge me today because I'm keeping it real for y'all. So just be nice to me, okay? Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynesha Renee. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're visiting for the first time. This is Tynesha Talks, where we keep it real, raw, and transparent. Today's video is kind of like an update to a video that I've already posted on my channel, which gave some very helpful tips on relocating for the first time. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you double back and watch that when you're done here. But I have been in Atlanta for almost 2 years now, y'all. I can't believe it. Time has gone by so fast. Moved in August of 2019, and I was really sitting back and reflecting on my time here. And there's a lot that I've learned in these 2 years, y'all. So I really wanted to just give y'all some information on things that I wish I knew before relocating for the first time, because I want to help y'all out, okay? I know moving can be stressful. I want to help y'all save y'all edges, save y'all pockets. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The very first thing that I wish I knew before relocating is that you should not move out of desperation. In a nutshell, I pretty much hated my life in New York before I moved to Atlanta. I felt like I was very stagnant. I wasn't happy in my job. I was financially stable and all that good stuff, but it was just missing a lot. Like I wasn't getting what I needed to get out of where I was living. It got to a point where I was like super depressed. I was going through like an existential crisis. I'm like, yo, what am I doing with my life? Like, why am I here? What's going on? And I really felt like just having a change of scenery would help me with the way I was feeling. I was basically in this space where I was so desperate to get out, where I was like, yo, the first job that I get, I'm just gonna take it. It could be a stepping stone job. I just want to get down to Atlanta. I'm done being in New York. I need something new, right? For some people, that might work just to like get up and go without really thinking about it. But honestly, I really wish that I had taken the time to calm myself down and not rush through the process, because what ended up happening was I rushed through my move like a lot. I talked about this in my last video, but I literally had about a week to move from New York to Atlanta. And that week was getting my apartment together, figuring out how I was going to get my car down, all my belongings, so on and so forth. And I ended up taking a job that I probably shouldn't have taken. I'm kind of embarrassed to even talk about this stuff. Don't judge me today, y'all. What I'm gonna say is please don't judge me today because I'm keeping it real for y'all. So just be nice to me, okay? I took a job that was a massive pay cut. I'm not even gonna tell y'all how much the pay cut was, because if you heard how much the pay cut was, you would be like, girl, what is you doing? Like, I took this pay cut because I felt like the environment of the job would make me happier. It didn't. And I really just wanted something to like get out at that moment. And I said I would figure it out when I got down here. Probably not the best decision, okay? Where I was living at in New York, my rent was super cheap. I moved down to Atlanta. My rent pretty much doubled for the most part, and I had less money coming in. So to the common person, that wouldn't make logical sense, but I wasn't thinking with logic. In that moment, I was thinking with emotion. Take your time, find a good job, something that you feel like, even though your plan might be to only stay there for a few months, if things hit the fan and you gotta stay there longer, something that you will be content with. Also, a reason why I say it's not good to move out of desperation is because a lot of people go into new states and they feel like as soon as they move, all their issues are gonna be erased. They're gonna have a brand new life. But again, a lot of the issues that I had back home were internal, right? I didn't know what my purpose was. I was feeling like I was just going through the motions. Coming to Atlanta for a while, it definitely did remove those feelings. I'm not gonna hold you. I was in a new space. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. But then lo and behold, the feelings started to creep right back in. And I really started to feel the same way that I did back home, except I was in a different location. So you wanna make sure, like when you're saying you wanna leave home and you need a fresh start and all that stuff, look at why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. See if there's anything that you need to work on before you leave. I guarantee you, if you do, you're just gonna move to a new state and them same feelings are gonna resurface, okay? Work on yourself. Next thing that I wish I had known before relocating is that if you cannot move without depending on someone, then you should probably rethink moving. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed to tell this story. This is my first time telling this story on camera, okay? So if I'm a little shaky, that's why. So, funny story. Before I moved to Atlanta, I actually had a boyfriend, okay? He was my college sweetheart, I guess you would call him. We've been off and on for years, and we were like really trying to work on things as adults, right? So again, I told y'all, I took a massive pay cut. I was freaking out about coming down here. I didn't know if I should take the job or if I should just stay where I was. We were doing the whole long distance thing. I didn't move for him, so let me clarify that, okay? I've always wanted to get to Atlanta. He just happened to be here first. He's like, yo, like, I mean, I have a job. Like, we can make it work. We split the bills. Like, whatever's gonna be fine. Like, it'll be cheaper for you because we're gonna be splitting everything. And I was like, should I was so back and forth, and I was like, you know what? YOLO, I'm gonna trust this man. We together, we gonna make it work. Like, worst case scenario, we just be roommates. Terrible idea. If you ever have a thought in your head like, all right, I'm about to move in with my boyfriend, and just in case we don't work, we can still be roommates, cancel that idea, because the idea of having your ex-boyfriend as a roommate is never good. I moved down to Atlanta with the intention that I was gonna move in with my boyfriend. I moved to Atlanta, and he ghosted me. Yo, every time I say it out loud, it's just like, I moved out. Very, very long story short, I moved down here and we didn't work out. So I was coming down here with the intention that I was gonna move in with my boyfriend. We were gonna split the bills, and then I had to figure everything out on my own. Then it just kind of went downhill from there. I tried to stay with family for a little bit. That hit the fan. I tried to live with a friend from back home as a roommate. We got evicted. I got another roommate. She was a total bitch, a terror. Like, it was horrible. The whole time I was kicking myself because I'm like, I know better than this. I know that I should have moved down here when I knew I was in a space to fully rely on myself. But I took that chance. I never rely on people. But again, I wanted to move. So I was like, you know what? These people gonna help me out. And it did not work that way. I'm not knocking your friends, your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you got. I'm not saying that they're not gonna help you. But what I'm saying is you need to have a plan B just in case it don't work out. And if you don't have a plan B, or if you can't afford to move without relying on somebody else, you really need to rethink moving. Okay, I was in the trenches. Sis was really in the trenches. Third thing, that's 3 fingers, right? Yeah, okay. Third thing that I wish I knew before moving is that visiting is a non-negotiable. And when I say visiting, I mean you have to do multiple trips. Whenever I hear someone saying that they're gonna move, the first thing that I ask is if they visited. And if you didn't visit, or if you don't plan to visit, I'm gonna just be sitting there like, you sure you wanna do that? Because I just know it's just like a dumpster fire preparing to happen. I did actually visit Atlanta before I moved here, but I had only visited Atlanta twice. I came once for my birthday and spent about a week here. And when you're visiting for like your birthday, of course you do all the fun stuff. So you go to all the clubs, you go to the restaurants. That's not really living life as like a local. You're not seeing like what your normal commute is gonna be like. Like, you're not doing normal day-to-day stuff if you're just coming out here and you're clubbing. I had also visited a second time, but this was right before I actually moved here. So I already made the decision to move based off of my first visit here. And if I could go back in time, I probably would have visited Atlanta at least like 6 times. Each of those 6 times probably would have been like a week at a time, just to like really scout the area, look at jobs, see how far things are, really get a feel of what it's like to actually live here. Because when I came, I was in for like I don't want to say a rude awakening, but there was some things I'm like, oh wait, this is a little bit different than what I thought. First thing, I'm from New York. Like I said, I gave up my winter coat when I moved down here. And if ain't nobody told you, it get cold in Atlanta. Like, I definitely could have kept my coat. I'm like, bro, I'm in Georgia. Like, I'm thinking I could just get away with a light jacket. No, honey. Like, it do be getting cold here, and I wish I would have like kept a coat or something. But if I had visited in like the winter months, I would have known that. So just little things like that, where if I had really taken the time to explore for real, I would have known. If you're able to visit wherever you're trying to go multiple times throughout the year for at least like a week at a time, I think that's the best thing. And if you can't afford to do that, y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Should you be moving? Should you be moving if you can't afford to visit the place that you're trying to move? And that's a rhetorical question. I'm gonna let you sit with that. You also might get to a place and realize that you don't really vibe with it. I have seen this a lot of times. Like, people just go to a place, they hear about it on TV, they hear about it from social media, they expect it to be lit, and then they get down there and they're like, whoa, baby. You could just save yourself a lot of trouble. Can you imagine spending all of your money to go to a new state? You quit your job, you picked up this new life, and you don't even like it there because you didn't do your due diligence? That hurt in your tummy. You gonna feel it. Just don't do that to yourself. The fourth thing that I wish I knew is that relocation depression is a real thing, y'all. Like, ooh, it really is. It's so crazy because it's like, I feel like a lot of people hate where they're from and they're so anxious to get out. And then when you leave, you start to miss it. I really had a phase where I was like mourning my old life. I was really going through it, y'all. And I'm sitting here wondering like, yo, what did I do? My life wasn't that bad. I thought it was bad in the moment, but it wasn't that bad. You might not start feeling homesick at first. Like, I didn't really start feeling like I miss home until I was here for like almost a year and a half. And then it just hit me like a bag of bricks. Homesickness is gonna happen for a lot of people, but do not let it discourage you. You do not appreciate what you have fully until you lose it. That is a whole fact. But there is zero part of me that wants to go back home, even though I felt homesick. In order to have a fresh start, sometimes you gotta destroy the old. And while that process might be real painful in the moment, there's so many good things that could come from it. So again, please do not let a little bit of homesickness deter you from staying. Try to see it through if you can. Fifth thing that I wish I knew before relocating is that you need to listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice inside your head, because it's probably telling you what you need to know. If something don't feel right, if you're not feeling right about the move, then it might not be the right move. Oh, bars. Now I want to say a disclaimer, okay? It is absolutely normal to be nervous about moving. Fresh starts can be exciting, but there's always a little bit of fear there, right? My fear was like next level, y'all. Next level anxiety I had about this move. And like in hindsight, now that I look back, I think I had so much anxiety about moving because my intuition was telling me that this job and the situation with my ex that I was trying to put myself in was in the right predicament. And I think I knew that deep down inside, but again, I was like so anxious to leave. Like I really, really wanted to move, that those two things were kind of like battling each other inside, and I didn't know what to do. I lost about 10 pounds in a matter of like a month, if even that. Like I lost a lot of weight. I got super skinny to the point where people started to pick up on it like, yo, are you eating? What's going on with you? I literally had so much anxiety about my move that I would wake up every morning and throw up. I couldn't eat. I had to go to the doctor and they prescribed anxiety medicine for me. Like it was bad. Again, like it's okay to have a little bit of nervousness, but if you're reacting like that, you might want to intuition, common sense, both. I wasn't listening to either one of those at that moment, but that could be an indication that, yo, this ain't it. I think that usually if it's something that you know is a good move, like you're super excited, it's like, yo, I know this is gonna move my life in a great direction. I didn't really have none of them feelings, y'all. I was sitting here like, bro, I think I'm making the wrong choice, but I'm scared to not take this opportunity because I think I'm never gonna leave, so I'm gonna just take it. And it wasn't the right thing to do. So listen to that little voice. Some people feel like, you know, they might have a poor sense of judgment or you don't have an intuition. Yes, you do. Just do what you can to try to get more in touch with it. A lot of times you just don't want to listen to the intuition because we know that the truth might not be what we want. So the sixth and final thing that I wish I knew before relocating is that I'm a lot stronger than I think. And I really, really could have moved a long time ago if I didn't get in my own way. You are probably a lot stronger than what you think. And you probably could have moved a long time ago if you didn't get in your own way. Now, I know that I mentioned like all these things that went wrong, but honestly, I don't regret my move here. It was rocky. I could have did some things to make it a lot smoother for myself, but I really learned a lot about independence. I'm a lot more resilient. Ultimately, the lessons that I've learned will help me with my next move, but also it helps y'all. There is no greater feeling than when people comment on my videos, hit me up on Instagram, let me know that the things that I've been through or the tips that I gave have helped them with their move. The gratification is so awesome, so I love being able to help people. It's so crazy. Like I sit there and I reflect on my experiences and I'm like, bro, I had a boyfriend who pretty much left me out to dry. I was homeless for a while because I got evicted. I had to live with another person who made my life miserable. Now I'm living on my own. I have different sources of income to make up for what I lost with my old job, taking advantage of different opportunities. Like, wow, like, can I take a moment to just be proud of myself? Like, it's such a really good feeling. I'm not gonna get emotional. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I don't know how long it is at this point, but as always, if you have any questions for me, it could be about living in Atlanta, just relocating in general, hit me up in the comments. I will answer all of your questions. I love to respond to y'all and see what you guys are thinking. But I really, really do hope that if you are planning that move and you feeling nervous about it, that this gave you some sense of comfort, okay? I think everyone has their relocating struggle stories, but everyone also lived to tell it. So keep that in mind. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, y'all, bye.